Cool. So, welcome to the second edition of BundesSpeaker, the podcast from fresh off the Gegenpress. I'm back here with Axel today. I think we'll probably be doing most of these together.
Hi.
We've got no other friends, so it'll be the two of us chatting about the things Bundesliga. So yeah, we in our first ever episode, we discussed the teams and everything that went on in the Bundesliga last season. Today we are going to have a bit of a chat about the players and who stood out, who was impressive. Axel's going to go through his team of the season, and we're going to basically talk rubbish for an hour. No, we're not. We'll talk for a bit. So how should we kick off then? You want to kick off with your player of the season, or should we kick off with your team of the season?
I just like to start off with saying that we'll try to give this some. We'll try to vary these kind of intros a bit. So next time I'll say hi in Latin, and then in Arabic, and then in Chinese, etc. So you'll experience some linguistic culture from time to time, which isn't too bad, of course. Yeah, of course. I think I'll start with my team of the season, and you're free to interrupt when we like to.
Yep.
Good.
I will.
Perfect. So, right, my goalkeeper of the season is Ben Leno, Red Leverkusen. I think he's been solid throughout the season. Last season he was a bit shaky at times, but this season he's been solid almost every game I watched, and and I still can't forget the save he made in the game I watched against Hamburg, where he, in some way, saved it was crazy. Can't really explain it actually. It was such an acrobatic achievement from him. Yeah, amazing. So my goalkeeper of the season is Ben Leno, but there have been amazing goalkeepers as always in Bundesliga. Manuel Neuer, of course, Fährmann, Haggis, Horn, but even Baumann has been really good. And Marvin Hitz from time to time. Hradecki has been great, actually.
Yeah.
I
think if you look at, especially a lot of those are very young German goalkeepers, and you look at their squad for the Euros, and you have to wonder what ter Stegen's done to get into that third shot. No one's going to be playing ahead of Neuer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But what he's really done to deserve that third spot over some of the ones he listed, I think Fährmann was far and away the best player at Schalke this season. Baumann has been an exceptional goalkeeper for a while now, leading that defence in Hoffenheim. So, it's sort of the amount of goals he's saved has been off the scale. But yeah, no, I think Leno is a good choice in goal, despite all the options. It's sort of one of those that's up to you sort of thing. There's so many options that you can pick what you want.
Yeah, for goalkeeper in Bundesliga, it's always hard to pick one.
Yeah.
You would like to play some kind of a 5-2-1-2 system, 5 goalkeepers. But that's not possible, of course.
Really?
Sadly. I think in a world where Pep Guardiola plays 3-1-2-1-2-1-2, it should be possible, but it isn't.
You're just making up numbers now, aren't you? Anyway.
I am, of course. Right back. Philip Lahm.
Philip Lahm. Okay, that's pretty difficult to debate that.
Yeah, he's always solid. He's always great, and this season has been no exception. It's been probably, together with Lewandowski, Müller, in my opinion, the best player, as always. And he's so important to Bayern. He was so important to the national team when he won World Cup. And it's such a shame that he had to retire from international football.
I don't think he had to. I don't think he had to.
No.
He chose to, didn't he?
He chose to. Yeah, true.
But I was going to ask you about that actually. Do you think he'll regret choosing not to play in the Euros this year? He's not actually won it as a player. You'd think that someone who is that decorated would want to lead his country again into a major tournament. I think it's a huge disappointment that he retired after that. He's only, I think he's 28, isn't he? I know it's difficult to go any higher than winning the World Cup, but it feels a bit of a shame that he's not going to be representing his country for at least this tournament. I mean, even potentially the next one. If you look at players like the old Italian legends Nesta and Maldini and that.
He's 32, isn't he, Lam?
Yeah.
I think he's, let's see. Yeah, he's 33 this year. He's old. Born the same year as, not sure who. But yeah, but I mean, Phil Lam is, I mean, it's always good to, end on a high, go out on a high, and win a World Cup is an achievement you can't really match. But I do agree. I mean, I think he might regret retiring from the German national team due to the fact that he hasn't won. He's been in one European final, but he hasn't won it, which for a player like Phil Lam, it must be a bummer to not win the Euros, especially if Germany do win the Euros.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how badly he regrets that. Still got to win it yet. Okay, centre backs. Where are we looking at centre backs?
Let's begin with the most obvious one. I would say John Boateng, not a Bayern player, but a necessary one. He's been very good throughout the season, and even though he was injured, when he came back, he looked as good as he looked before. And many, as you've said, sometimes, I mean, many centre backs, they know how to pass the ball, but they don't really know how to defend, which is ironic. But John Boateng, he knows that. He's one of the best actual defenders in the game, probably, maybe even the best defender in the game. He's shown that once again this season, and he's one of the reasons why Bayern have had such a defensively stable record this season, together with Manuel Neuer and Phil Lam.
Yeah, and he will be one of the main defensive stars of the Euros as well, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And the other one?
Yeah, that's more of a hipster's choice for me. Stefan Bell of Mainz.
Nice.
Yeah, he's been part of the B defense with Balogun, Brungert, Bell, and Wasinski, all starting with a B. I think Martin Schmidt must be some kind of obsessed with B. Because B is everywhere in Mainz. B is everywhere. And bees as in the letter B, not in the animal, of course. But yeah, I mean, Stefan Bell has been a standout performer together with Baumgartlinger for Mainz, and together with Nico Brungart in defense. They've created some kind of a partnership, and together with Karius, and then this partnership, then the partnership with Daniel Latza and Baumgartlinger, and then the partnership with Muzzo and Mali. All those partnerships have created some kind of a foundation for Mainz, and especially the defensive duo has been so important for them. And I'm really impressed by Stefan Bell. I didn't know he was that good, but he surprised me, and he surprised many, I expect, and I think he will stay for next season and stay for Europa League, and that's why I think Mainz won't fall, let's say, in Bundesliga. But I mean, Stefan Bell has been great, and that's why he's in my team this season.
I think there's no real argument that there's at least a couple of Mainz players deserve to be in there, and certainly one of the keys to their success has been their defence and the leadership there. So yeah, definitely. And left back, I guess that leaves us with.
Yeah, he is probably Marcel Schmelzer for me. actually, hard to. Yeah, I think so. Jonas Hector perhaps could also play. But yeah, Martin Schmelzer actually. Not sure who I've mentioned before. Oscar Wendt, of course, as well.
Yes, yeah. But there's not a lot of real high quality left backs in the league, are there? So
No, I mean it's like Alaba, and that's it. But Schmelzer has had a great season,
yeah,
and so has Oscar Wendt, so has Alaba, of course. But in my opinion, I think Schmelzer has been consistent, and even more consistent than Oscar Wendt.
yeah. And I would say more importantly, he's made more of a difference to his team.
Yeah.
And potentially, like Alaba, I think you could take him out and put Bernat in, and he wouldn't be as good, but it also wouldn't necessarily change all that much about how good Bayern were as a team. Whereas if you take Schmelzer out, he's a leader at the back. He's captaining for the final tomorrow, I think, if Twitter serves me right.
Wow.
Potentially, I'm not sure. That might be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
No.
But yeah, so he's a leader back there. He's got all that experience, and I think he's made a big difference to why Dortmund have pushed on so much.
Mm.
Right, what are we going for next? 4-4-2. So
Yeah, 4-2.
right midfield.
Mkhitaryan.
Alright, easy.
Yeah, easy. Without a doubt, the best player of the season for me.
Yeah.
With I think it's like 16 assists and something like that. I'll have to check that. But I mean, he's been the reason to why Borussia Dortmund have been so good, and I'm hugely impressed by them. Hugely impressed by him, especially.
Yeah.
And let's see. Yeah, he scored 11 goals and made 15 assists.
15 assists, almost.
Yeah, almost. Very good player, and I mean he's performing almost every game of the season, and hasn't been bad in any game. Consistently amazing, and that's why he's in my team of the season as right mid.
Yep. Don't think there's any real debate there. So should we move on to central midfield?
Yeah, right. Julian Baumgartner out of Mainz.
Yep.
As I mentioned before, he's in the middle of the pitch, he makes the play work. He makes Mainz work as a team, and without him next season, they will struggle, of course.
Yeah.
But as I said, these duos, these partnerships between Bell Bungart, Latza, Baumgartner, and Mali and Muto have all proven to be very important. And especially Baumgartner and Latza, and of course, well, all of them. But in midfield, to make the play work, to make minds tick, Baumgartner and Latza have been key to the play, and especially Baumgartner, as he's more of a hard-tackling defensive controller than Latza.
Yeah. Baumgartner has obviously played a big role in Austria qualifying for the Euros quite so comfortably as well. So
Yes.
look and see what happens. Leverkusen might have got themselves a bit of a steal there when it comes to picking him up.
Yeah.
If he has a good Euro.
Truly.
Okay. Next.
Granit Xhaka.
Yep. Potentially on his way to Arsenal.
The BBC journalist David Ornstein said right now he tweeted like right now that the deal is almost done.
Yep.
And when he tweets, it's almost done. It's done. So yeah, Xhaka is probably almost done for Arsenal. So but yeah, he's been fantastic for Gladbach once again. One of the key players, probably the best player, and he scored goals. He's made assists. He's of course had some red cards and yellow cards against him, but
yeah,
his season's been solid, and he's once again also made the team safe. He's the defensive controller, as well as he's very technical, very good with the ball. So he can do almost anything with the ball, everything with the ball.
Yeah, and he's been a very good leader.
Mm. Yeah, he is. He is.
So you think that's a good signing for Arsenal if that goes through, as is pretty much guaranteed now? I'd have thought.
Yeah, I think he is. I think that's exactly what we need. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan, unless I didn't mention that. Yeah, he's exactly what we do need at Arsenal. So, and judging from what he's done for Gladbach, it's amazing signing. Fantastic.
And it's exactly the sort of player that Arsenal need as well. Do you think his disciplinary record will be an issue?
I think if there's any manager in the world that can fix that, it's Arsene Wenger. I think.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger and probably Pep Guardiola. Those two could fix this disciplinary problem.
I would say that Xhaka's too much of a personality for Guardiola.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh,
I can understand. I can understand that he would be able to control your average bad player, but I think Xhaka seems to have a bit of a strut about him, which potentially has got something to do with being captain at the age of 23 or something.
Yeah.
Of one of the biggest clubs in the Bundesliga, and I think he's captain of Switzerland, or
yes,
certainly a very regular and key part of that team. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But he's certainly an improvement on Flamini and Coquelin.
Yeah, of course. He is. He really is.
Yeah. Cool. So that's central midfield. Any sort of notable mentions there? I think personally, Charles Arangis, I mentioned this when we were talking the other day. Since he's come back from injury in Leverkusen, they've had their real push of form towards the end of the season. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
He scored goals, made assists. It's a sort of player that they signed. Well, they signed him last summer, and he immediately got a horrendous injury which kept him out until March. And I think if he'd been with them all season, they could seriously have been pushing for second place, because he's really, really made an impact since he's come in. So
I have one honourable mention at central midfield, of course. I think you could guess who it is.
Probably could, but I'd rather you told me so I don't embarrass myself.
Vlad
Derrida, yeah. Of course.
I'm in love with that lad. He's so amazing. And Hertha should be so glad to have him.
Yes.
And he would. I mean, he's a bit like both Xhaka and Baumgartner. But he's more of a attacking force as well. He has very good technique, very good finishing as well. But especially his work rate is absolutely amazing. He runs like for 9 minutes, non-stop. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
So right, left midfielder.
Yep.
Julian Brandt, Leverkusen.
Very nice choice. Made the preliminary Euro squad for Germany this week as well. So first call up to the national team.
Yeah.
This season.
Very impressive player. Only 20 years old, 19, 20. I think he's 20 this year. I think he's as old as I am. Born 96. I feel a bit of a failure, to be honest. I mean, compared to him, of course. But yeah, amazing player. Very, very nice to watch. Very good with the ball. Very good at passing. And amazing finish as well.
Yes.
And I mean, if you compare him to like play like Timo Werner, they are the same age, but Julian Brandt has much more composure from the goal. He's much calmer and a better player, of course.
Yes, yeah. And I think we spoke about this briefly before, comparison with Leroy Sané at Schalke. A player who's been linked with multi-million-pound deals in both halves of Manchester. Certainly with moves away from humble 60,000 fans of Schalke. What do you think there in terms of a comparison between the players? Is it a fair comparison? Is it can you look at those two and say, well, one is better than the other, one is going to go further than the other, or are they very, very similar?
Not necessarily that one is going to get better than the other one, but at the moment, and judging from the season, Julian Brandt is better than Leroy Sané. I think Julian Brandt has more of a more decisive side to him than Sané has. I mean, Sané is a great dribbler, great on the ball, and has decent passing as well. But Julian Brandt has it all. He can pass, he can shoot, he can finish, he can dribble, he can run, he has a decent work rate as well. I mean, he has the right attitude, which Sané sometimes maybe doesn't have. But I mean, the quality is there for Sané, and just needs to be calm and more composed from the goal to make better decisions, I'd say.
Yeah. So why are we not seeing many links with Brandt to the Premier League? Is that something to do with scouting? It can't be temperament. He looks like a decent young player to me. Doesn't seem to have any off-field issues. What is it that's making clubs look at, say, the big star at Schalke rather than the big star at Leverkusen, who undoubtedly would be cheaper?
I'm not sure, really not sure. It's hard to say. Maybe because Leroy Sané, he performed at the start of the season where everyone was kind of more interested than in March, April. In April, Bayern and Dortmund were almost one of those teams were going to win. At the start of the season, it's more open. It's more interesting for the ones who aren't Bundesliga fans. Yeah. So I would say that the general, general public, I think they got a bigger impression at the start of the season of Sané. Sané's first impression was better than Julian Brandt's first impression. Sure. And in many ways, the first impression is what makes or breaks. Yeah, I mean, both players will go far, undoubtedly. Yeah. But at the moment, Brandt is better. But the potential and the quality is there. Sané just needs to fix his composure, I'd say.
Yeah, cool. So are we going for two strikers, or are we going for a centre forward and a striker? What are we?
Two strikers.
We have two strikers. All right. What are we going for then as our first striker?
Yeah, I mean, both are quite obvious. Honestly, it's Aubameyang and Lewandowski both.
Yep.
It would be criminal, I think, to choose another one. Even though players like Chicharito, Pizarro, Thomas Müller have all been really good. But it would feel wrong to choose anyone else but these two, because they made themselves undeniably best strikers in Bundesliga, and they are among the best strikers in the world.
Yeah, I think you have to take into account a couple from the Premier League, but those two are head and shoulders above a lot of players. They're certainly in the top 5 in Europe. I mean, in terms of actual strikers, like you take Messi and that sort of thing out of the equation, but Suarez is undoubtedly number 1. And then I think you have to look at those two as potentially 2 and 3 with Aguero's injury problems and
agreed.
And other things going on. Sort of Higuain's had a really good season, but Siria's kind of I've got to see him do it somewhere else again before I can put him in there. So those two pretty undeniable. So no place in your team for Thomas Müller.
No, and that's what makes the season so fantastic. I mean, it's Thomas Müller of all players, and he's had the best season of his life. He doesn't fit in my. He doesn't get a place, or he doesn't get a start in my team of the season.
Yeah,
which is remarkable. And other players like Mats Hummels, Manuel Neuer, Gundogan, Royce. They probably were good enough. Most of these players were better than the players I've chosen, but I've chosen players based on how much they meant for their teams.
Yeah.
And
I think if you went for a straight comparison between Müller and Baumgartlinger, there's no sort of in different positions, obviously. But you know, the point remains: there's no comparison in how good they are. But he's not made as big an impact on Bayern's season as maybe Baumgartlinger has on Mainz this season. I think that's a nice way of going around picking a team, because otherwise we would just end up with a Bayern Dortmund-ish.
Yeah, correct.
Good. So that's the team. Any other honourable mentions? You said Chicharito, obviously, as a striker, was pretty unlucky. I think any other season he probably would have been up there as one of the top strikers, but he missed out this year. Anybody else that gets an honourable mention?
Sure. I mean, I think Xabi Alonso has been decent, but I mean, he hasn't been that important to Bayern season. I think, hard to say actually. I think Adrian Ramos has been very good when he's played, honestly. But I mean, he isn't good enough to, start in a team of the season. But he's been impressive when he's played, and even a player like Dan Didavi or Lucas Rupp from Stuttgart, both been good, really good, and really important to Stuttgart. And for Hanover, there's really no player at all who's been important for them. They've all been, well, okay, Kiyotaki has been decent from time to time, from game to game, but not consistently important to them, I would say. Frankfurt, Alex Myers is of course very important. Marco Russ is of course very important as well, but no player who has stood out from the rest. Finn Bogason has done very well during the last few months. Pixar as well, as I mentioned, but
surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, the only player from Bremen, but certainly the only player from Bremen, but surprisingly, maybe the one that stood out, seeing as he's the oldest, and how they've had to rely on a guy that's pushing 30. How old is he? 35.
37, I think.
37. Yeah, so there you go. Definitely the wrong side of 30. Your average star striker, but yeah, he's been a bit of a catalyst for their survival, really.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's honourable mentions. Your overall player of the year and young player of the year.
My overall player of the year has been Mkhitaryan. As I said before, he's been the best of the best. And I mean, with his goal tally and his assist tally, it's you can't really deny him that place, and you can't deny he's been so very important to Dortmund. So yeah, Mkhitaryan is, and my young player of the year is Julian Brandt.
Yep.
Because he's been a shining star. I think teams of Bundesliga, while other teams like Timo Werner, Leroy Sané have had ups and downs, but Julian Brandt has been consistently good, and has also grown during the season. He's gotten better for every game he's played, improved consistently. So yeah, Julian Brandt's my young player of the season.
Yeah.
And you?
It's hard to look past those two, really. Is there anybody else that I would put in there? No, I would agree. I personally think that defenders are always underrated when it comes to this time of year. Bit of award season, so I'm going to make a case for Boateng, but yeah, it's pretty difficult to look past Mkhitaryan for the guy that's been the most consistent and the most exciting player as well. And that Dortmund team has been very forward looking, and yeah, obviously Lewandowski scored a lot of goals, but I don't think that necessarily in itself proves that you've been the best player in the league. So
correct.
Good. All right, and we'll finish off with a little bit of a goal of the season tournament competition, shall we say? What was your What was your goal of the season, if you've got one? You can remember that many.
Well, I watched the Bundesliga's official top 10 goals of the season video, and my first pick was Lewandowski's fifth versus Wolfsburg.
Yep.
But I'm not too sure. Actually, I mean, there's been quite a few amazing goals, and I mean, Robert Bauer against Darmstadt was amazing. His first goal and ever for Ingolstadt, and a volley from right outside the area, hits a crossbar, and in Lars Stindl versus Augsburg was amazing. But yeah, I think I'd say Lewandowski was the most impressive achievement, the most impressive goal of the season, even though it has been quite a few amazing goals.
Yep, that's fair enough. Pretty difficult to argue with that. That was quite a stunning performance overall that night, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, amazing.
5 goals in 9 minutes and blew Wolfsburg away. I think that was probably when their collapse started, didn't it? But
it was.
Yeah. Personally, I'm going to go for one that was more recently, and it was, sorry to say, against your Frankfurt. And yeah, when I read it on Twitter, I was like, oh, good, yeah. Ribery scores an overhead kick. Yeah, overhead kicks are difficult, but I mean, it's not that impressive. And people were going absolutely crazy over it. Seems a bit excessive. And then I watched the video and I thought, well, maybe they're kind of understating it a bit. It's it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was an amazing volley, amazing overhead kick. It really was.
I mean, he's now the wrong side of 30 as well, and had his injury problems, but the flexibility, the physical ability that he's got to still pull off something as difficult as that, and from so far out, it's just an amazing goal. So that was my personal favourite. I was a big fan of the second Sevilla goal on Wednesday night. Not that it was a goal of the season contender, and also not involving German teams either, so definitely not. But I was a big fan of that. I was the way they moved that ball around was Barcelona-esque. So it was, anyway, that was just a side point that I thought I'd add in. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not really.
No.
I just like to say that to add some bit of a linguistic culture, I'm quickly going to say shark fin soup in German.
Okay.
Haifischschwanzflosenfleischsuppe. There we go.
Very nice. If anyone ever wants to order that, just record this bit of the podcast, take it with you to the restaurant, and you'll have something sorted. So there we go. Not only do we provide culture of football, we're now also adding language help, little nibbits of interesting things. Axel's always got something slightly crazy up his sleeve, so that certainly helps keep me on my toes, keep everything interesting. I shall look forward to what he's got planned for the next time, if it's an introduction in Latin or whatever. Yes, so I guess that's it for this version of BundesSpeaker. Just a reminder that you can find us both on Twitter at Ali Haggis and at Millennium Falk. Of course, get on down and follow the official account at Fresh Gegenpress, and be sure to visit the website all the time. We're always putting new stuff up, new articles, new pieces, shaping the site. It's a growing project we're very excited about, and we hope that you will continue to visit us and to enjoy it with us. So once again, from me and the second episode, and from Axel, we would like to say goodbye. Thank you for listening.